Okay everyone, welcome back to another video. This is actually filmed directly after the previous video of me making the bench. I've just got them all out. It's scary to see how much of the bench it already fills up. Obviously there's still plenty of room if you put them a bit closer to, I'll spread them out slightly. I just wanted to go through what each tree is, as this is January 2023, beginning of a new year. About my nearly 2 years into to doing it properly, the hobby, bonsai hobby. So anyway, obviously a lot of these have been bought, some I've made myself and everything, and they're in training. This year is going to be a lot more. I'm going to try and do some nursery stock trees. Sorry about the wind, by the way. So this one here is a cork bark elm. You can see it's got the lovely corky bark starting to feel like. I did about a couple of weeks ago now, I did go through. It used to be really packed in this tree completely, like this was all, it was all just merged. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've selected branches, so you can see the branches are more, they've got a nicer pattern to them, a little bit more ramification. Obviously I've still got to work on it for many years to come, but that's one of my shohin trees. Just at the back here, this is a Korean hornbeam. I have bought this winter actually. I'm yet to see this in leaf actually, so I'm really looking forward to spring when I can see this in leaf. I haven't trimmed it or anything. There's a lot going on at the top. It's a very, let's move this out, you can see it all. It's a very nice looking hornbeam really, but yeah, I'm gonna let that leaf and just keep it out for a year and just do some light trimming. Now this here is my well, I suppose it's shohin size if you're going size wise, from the base of the tree to the top probably. I would like to make it a mame maple. This is just a regular Deciduous maple that you buy from nursery stock basically. It was probably about twice as high and I've pruned it back, and it had really good growth last year, so I'm hoping that'll keep it like that. This here, the back, is a Chinese elm. This was actually the first proper bonsai that I got. It was actually a birthday gift to me. It looks really bare at the moment, obviously one because it's winter and it's only lost probably about 70%, 60% of its leaves. So there's going to be a lot more leaves. There's a lot of nice little shoots that you can see on the trees here. I have gone through recently, and same with the cork bark elm, I've tried to thin it out a bit to promote some new growth from the buds when they come out and make the layers a bit more, because it was all congested. This branch when I bought it was actually going up into this area. For some reason it was really, so I've had to wire that down. That's been wired now for a couple of months. So hopefully at the end of next year that'll be set in place. Lots of new buds. It's actually, I don't know if you can see there, but it's got a new little leaf. This is only January and it's already leafing out, which is a bit of a, well, it's not a worry, but obviously it's a bit early. Right, on to the next. This is my Japanese or European larch. Obviously it hasn't got all the screen on. It's a nice little shohin size, really nice little tree, lovely looking when it's in full swing. Now moving on to the next is my little mame cotonista. This is one that drops its leaves in the winter and then obviously leaves back up. It's a nice little size. It was made from a cutting. It wasn't made by me from a cutting, this was made by someone else. I've just been carrying it and trying to keep it sharp. I'm still deciding on how. Obviously with mame there isn't much you can do for like really loads of levels and platforms to it, so I've just been kind of keeping it its size, and when it grows I'll trim it back and trim some of these longer shoots back, and see where that goes. Now at the back here is the, I think it's, I can never get the name right, Arikara maple. I'm pretty sure it is Japanese maple. It's the one with the lovely cork bark. You can see the cork bark. It looks absolutely fabulous in when it's in full leaf. So can't wait till spring to see this with nice red leaves on it. It's got plenty of buds up the top. What I would love to do is get some cuttings, so I've left some of this growing quite long. I'd love to be able to take these off in spring, sometime this year, and try and propagate them, because I'd love to get more versions of this tree. It's got a nice bit of nabari down there as well starting, which could be quite good. Now on to the next one. This is the redwood, Dawn redwood. This actually was really disappointing when I first got it. This pot actually originally had 5 redwoods in it, and I bought it off of a garden centre, one of these bonsai garden centres. You can find them like this kind of style most places, and only these 2 survived. Admittedly, it was probably came from a greenhouse, but I put it out here on that metal bench that I showed in the other video, and left it out. It was summer at this point, so it wasn't like it was cold, and it didn't like it, and yeah, 3 of them died and these 2 survived luckily. So I'm still not sure. I've left them in this pot now. I repotted them in this pot. This isn't how I want the final tree to be. I've just put them in the pot because I want them just to grow, and then at some point I will either get them in close or that I'll use them as single trees. It's quite hard really, because they came as part of a forest, so they've been grown or air layered from a larger specimen and then just chopped off at the top, and it was about this height, but it's got lovely green foliage. Now if we move to the back, you've got my Satsuki Azalea. This was a tree from Watson Bonsai. You may have heard of him in the UK. Great bonsai website he's got there with a load of nice trees online. It comes really well packaged, but it's a beautiful, this tree. Cannot wait to see this one back in flower again. But it's got a really nice curvature to the trunk. I've thinned it out a bit. I've pulled out most of the dead leaves. I haven't really trimmed much of it yet, obviously, because it's the wrong time of year to be trimming this, but hopefully, yeah, this is going to look amazing. I might do a spring video of when they all come back into leaf, actually, because I'd love to see them all together in leaf. This one, oh damn it, I've forgotten the name. Oh god, lovely bonsai. It will come to me maybe at some point. You guys will probably know what it is. If not, I'll put it in the pinned comment down below if I still can't remember at the time of recording this. But this one came from a hedge cutting. That's it, potentilla or something like that. They've got really lovely bark, but the problem is with this bark is to get it like this, it takes a long time. So yeah, this came from a hedge cutting and was cut right back a couple of years ago, and has let all these nice new shoots come out. It's actually just starting to come into leaf, and it's got like little yellow flowers on it as well at some point, so it'll look great. I haven't trimmed this one at all, obviously, yet, because it's not. I was letting it grow a bit, just wanted to keep the tree healthy. But yeah, that's going to look lovely when it comes out in colour. Now at the back here, this is one of my first trees that I made. There's still a lot of work I've got to do to this one when it comes to it. I need to adjust the wires possibly and do a little bit more trimming and thinning out. But it is a juniper of sorts. I can't remember the exact name of it. But it was, yeah, it's a nice tree. It's a nice straight up tree. I need to. It's very 2-dimensional apparently. This is when I was first starting bonsai, so it's a bit 2-dimensional, but we can fix that when it comes to it. Now at the back here is an Itagawa juniper. This is being grown for bonsai use. I'm yet to really style this tree. I did a couple trimmings last year and then wired the branches, and then this year we'll be making it into more of an actual bonsai looking tree really, and putting it in a nice pot when spring comes along. This tree here, for the life of me I cannot tell you the name of it. I'm not sure what it is actually. I don't think it's a pine of sorts. I suppose it's got needles, so I'm not sure what it is really, but it's a great tree. This was the trunk, how it all came from nursery stock really. I've just wired down this branch and letting it grow, thickening it up, and then this year I will adjust it more and thin it out a little bit, and probably face like these buds upwards slightly on all the levels, and it'll look much nicer. Now down here to the next level, this is a Juniper as well. I can't for the life of me remember the official name of it. Unfortunately this one got hit hard by the frost or the cold, and we did lose a branch here, so this one I have no idea what I'm going to do with yet really. It's a bit of a, it was meant to be a cascade. It's quite a nice looking cascade. It's got, I'm meant to obviously thin out these branches a little bit and re-evaluate this tree and what I'm going to do with it. Next tree is the Inoki cypress. This tree, as you can see there, is, I'm trying to create lots of different pads basically. So this one in the middle, put this down, this pad here, I'm hoping to extend out and fill up most of this gap, probably bring this one up a bit more and make it into a nice looking tree, but that one's doing really well. Next we have some small little cuttings that I made. Sorry, let's get the camera down. These are from the EP2 Juniper. When I was pruning it first, I didn't think these would survive. I just put some hormone stuff on them, and yeah, they haven't died yet, so I'm hoping that means they've rooted. There was a little bit of growth on this one, so I think it's safe to say that these will come back, and these will be turned into Mame bonsais probably, and eventually shohin. Back here was a Chinese elm cutting. I've got a couple more, but I quite like this one. It's got mini leaves that it grew last year and kept on. It's kept on all winter so far, hasn't dropped. But it's actually grown some more, which is quite funny. So that's definitely still alive, which is, that's just going to grow probably in this pot for the next year. This here is a pine. I can't remember. I think it's a Japanese white pine. This was given to me. Someone's already wired it, but let's just stand up. My legs are killing me. It's a nice looking tree. It's got really nice curvature on it. It'll be great to expand this one, thicken it up and mess around with the branches. Now, last two. This is a plum tree, I'm pretty sure, of sorts. Japanese something plum or whatever. When I googled it, I have no idea really what it is. It was half dead from a garden centre, plus it's a house plant. I know it's actually outside still now, which is a bit unusual really. I thought this would be more of a tropical tree, but it's done all right actually. It hasn't died or shown any sign, but you can see with this one as well, look, it's got new growth poking out already. We've had some really mild weather recently, but this one needs to be repotted. I need to do some work on the roots. It could possibly have quite a nice nabari here, but I slip potted it, then trimmed some of the roots at the bottom, and then put it back in the pot and came in for now because I didn't have any other pots. But we've definitely got to do something with this tree this year. And then here is one of my other maples. This is grafted, as you can probably see, which is a shame really, but this was one of these cheap kind of ones you buy from a garden centre. But it's got some really nice colours. I've really got to decide what I'm going to do with this tree. It's got two twin trunk kind of movement at the moment. I may end up air layering one off and keeping one of them, and probably this one, to get a bit more movement in the tree, and then growing this here as the new leader. But we'll have to be, got this branch here that's actually quite thick, which might be overpowering the other branches slightly, so we may end up having to take that off, trimming it back to these buds here. But yeah, overall that is the collection of 2023 so far. I'll do more videos throughout the year to update you and keep a record of how the trees are developing, and if I do any major work to them, I'll try and do videos on them. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed, and take care.